Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Sport here on YouTube, and today we're going to be previewing the 2018-2019 Premier League season for Manchester United.
We're not sponsored by HP.
No. You're actually the first person to say that out of all the previews. This is the last one that we're doing. Don't know when this is going on YouTube. It might be completely out of order. But
brought to you by HP.
Yeah, the less of that, the better. Right, so Manchester United really, after a second place horrible finish.
You love
really,
telling me that. That's twice you've done it.
Because it's so far behind the league champions and
ahead of everybody else.
Cross rivals Manchester City, finishing ahead and really getting the advantage going on forward. Just so far behind. So how have United responded in this transfer window?
We signed Fred the Red.
Signed Fred, signed Lee Grant, and you signed
Diego
Dalot, a defender from Porto. Jamie, what's going on?
Well, we're going to win the league.
You really think so?
I don't know.
No?
I honestly have no idea. I'm one of those that I just want to see how we do in the league starting off straight away. I'll say this now, if we bottle it up in our first month in the league and Man City carry on doing what they did last season, it's already finished for me.
Is Mourinho under pressure already before even the start of the season because of how pre-season and this transfer window's gone?
You see, I don't think he's under pressure from the club. I think it's just the media. Why would the club think he's not doing a good job when, if you look at the first two seasons, we won the Europa League, we won the League Cup. I'm not going to... Okay, the Shield has to be under the... I wouldn't count it, but that's just the way it is. That was in his first season. Second season, okay, not as great as planned. We lost to Seville in the Champions League. United standard, they know they should be doing better than that. FA Cup runners-up. I think that was a final that anyone could have won. It wasn't a great final. It was pretty dreadful. Sadly, for Mourinho, he was on the loose end. And then we finished second in the Premier League, which is our best league finish since Fergie left. So in my eyes, I don't think Mourinho should be under pressure. I honestly think, okay, Mourinho hasn't always been professional. I can agree with that in front of the cameras, in front of the mic and all that. But I think it's because it's always him. It's always him that is in the centre of attention. He's always getting thrown things at the media, and whatever he says, even if when United win, there's always a problem from the media. And then the moment we lose a game, Mourinho gets it worse than the likes of Pep Guardiola did. Pep Guardiola did nothing in his first season for Man City. Don't get me wrong, he's done very well in his second season. Has he won Europe yet? No. There's a lot of managers out there who haven't done anything. Jurgen Klopp hasn't even won a trophy yet for Liverpool. But yet, after all this, Mourinho is getting all the shit. And I don't understand why. And I personally think Mourinho's future at United is set as long as he really does not fuck it up, basically.
What would you expect really from United? Because, you know, the pre-season, as Mourinho has constantly said throughout, has been one to avoid completely for pretty much every single United fan out there. Draw against Club America, draw against San Jose Earthquakes, draw against Milan and 9-8 on penalties there, 4-1 loss against Liverpool, the 2-1 win against Real Madrid, the only win of their pre-season tour, and then the recent 1-0 loss against Bayern Munich. What positives is there to take from this pre-season, despite the fact that you beat the champions of Europe? That's about it.
Well, we're kings of Europe now because Bayern Munich technically are because they took it off us. But no, there isn't really anything to take. But I will say this now. Maybe it is an excuse. Maybe it is a very bad excuse. But our full squad wasn't at these games. Some of them are coming back this week. Some of them are not. Apparently, Paul Pogba might not be starting against Leicester in the opening game of the Premier League season come Friday night, and I'm not sure why. I think he should be. Just because you won the World Cup for France, you deserve a break. I'm sorry, you earn enough money. All these players do, so I don't respect that one bit. 2 weeks is enough.
Yeah.
2 weeks for me is enough. That's a good break. You could go anywhere with your money. I don't get it.
Most people only get 28 days on their contracts of work.
Exactly. No, you're right though, because even if I got given 2 weeks off, I couldn't afford to go to China or anything like that. I can't afford it. They can. They can go anywhere they like in 2 weeks. So I don't understand that. Every player should be ready for the first game of the season. Every game counts now. in the Premier League. Every team is a serious club in the Premier League. Premier League is not like it used to be 10 or 15 years ago, where United and Arsenal would etc. would always win their matches against the smaller teams, and then come the actual rivalry days, that's when it all mattered. This match just counts as any other 38 games that we'll get this season. So I don't understand that. I think, looking at the pre-season, it's probably been our worst pre-season since I can remember. Last few years, we've always gone to America to do the International Champions Cup, whatever it is. And we've done okay. We've never had real negatives to say. Sadly, we've always said, even if we play well, it doesn't mean anything because we haven't got our full squad. Without a full squad at the moment, it looks like we really need them back, because those results say something else. I'm a bit worried. A lot of people say Mourinho doesn't always do it after 3 seasons. I think if Mourinho wants to stop these deltas, he carries on for the club until the day he gets sacked. Hopefully that won't be soon, because I'll say this now: who else is there to replace him? Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm sick of all the criticism. Joe's saying Zidane in the background. I would rather have Mourinho. Zidane had the Real Madrid team in front of him, and Zidane. Yeah. Anyway, enough of that. What I'm trying to say is that yes, the summer has been awful, but I don't know. I'm quite positive about. I think the one positive, actually, you asked me, is Fred. Fred has been basically praised for his first few games.
Yeah.
They reckon he's been our best signing so far. Obviously, that's not too difficult when the other one's a defender and the other one's a third-choice goalkeeper. But it's good to see someone from Brazil, for once, actually do well for United, because that never happens unless you're Anderson. No, Fred's had a very, very good summer so far, and I'm hoping that he can do that for the Premier League.
So, looking at this squad ahead of the season, obviously not too many additions. Carrick's gone; he's retired.
He's a coach now, isn't he?
He's a coach at United. Whilst he's not lost in terms of mental aspect off the field, he has been off. On the field, is gone completely now. But United have got Fred in, as you mentioned. He's had a good pre-season and whatnot for the football club. And under Jose Mourinho, what kind of football are we expecting? Because he came under a lot of criticism with his defensive kind of play, and a lot of people want to see more attacking options really given out. Potentially Rashford now maybe even be given more of a chance in the starting 11 after being awarded the number 10 shirt this off-season. What kind of team do you think Jose Mourinho will look to be fielding?
Well, I'm hoping that this is finally a team that can finish. The problem I had with some of the United games last season is that we could not score. A lot of people have always criticised Lukaku when it comes to the big games. I remember when we lost to Chelsea last season at Stamford Bridge, when Morata scored a header, and we lost 1-0. I remember that being in November, and before we even played Man City that season, I thought after we lost that game, we've lost the title. That's already gone. We're 8 points behind City, and we haven't even played them yet. That's when I thought, unless we somehow change it very soon, it's going to be a Man City season, and it had been. My problem was that Lukaku had no setup.
Yeah.
So a lot of people would always go on Twitter and say, Lukaku's not performing at the big game as always. And I thought, you know what? For once, maybe it's because the midfield aren't performing. United have not had a proper spine in probably since Paul Scholes left.
Yeah.
And Paul Scholes was one of the best midfielders in the world. We've not had anyone like that ever since. The Paul Pogba's great, but he's no Paul Scholes. Not consistent enough. So I am a bit worried about that, because we haven't got a finish. And I agree with what you said the other day, and I've been saying it for years. We need 2 people up front. And Lukaku on his own, I don't think he's good enough for that. He's a world-class player, but he's not that world-class. He's still a player who I think needs to prove a lot. He hasn't won anything majestic. Okay, he spent most of his time at Everton, but that says something. If he's playing for Everton, that's why he wasn't good enough at the time. That's why he left Chelsea. So we'll I just looking at the approach for United. The defending has been really good. The result probably doesn't say it, but Lindelof and Bailly on Sunday night were absolutely stunning. Bayern Munich dominated. That's not their fault. If United aren't going to attack, you're not going to score. But I'm hoping this could be a partnership that we've been waiting for since Vidic and Ferdinand, because then that is a step in progress. But it's up front for me. I don't think Rashford's the man to do it at number 10. I really, really like Rashford. I think he could be at United for a long time, but he still hasn't proven himself.
Is there anyone in the United squad right now, do you think, could be that kind of partnership with Lukaku, or
I think they need to sign another striker.
you think so?
I don't know who. I don't think you need to spend much on another striker. It could be the man to just set him up. I'm not sure. Who would you go for if you had a second striker for United?
Well, yeah, I think that's what the important point that you need to raise up is basically you need a secondary striker. So whilst you need to bring in someone that can complement Lukaku correctly and help him in terms of support, you also need to make sure that you're not spending the money on terms of one person that's going to be looking for the opportunities every single time the ball lands at their feet, because otherwise that connectivity is gone. You may as well have just been playing him up on top on his own. So when you look around for players like that, they're really tough to find, because these days a lot of teams do play with that one sole striker, and just off the tip of my tongue, really, in terms of players that you could potentially bring in to be that kind of player.
As you see, it's funny at times like this, Ibrahimovic
would have been perfect,
should never have let him go.
He's a player that is going to sit and not
he doesn't move a lot.
Move around for the ball. He's going to hold the ball,
but he can finish.
And he's going to wait up and he can finish as well. So he would have been perfect for that kind of position.
Don't understand why we let him go. He's just like Van Persie. I don't understand why we let him go. I'm not saying Van Persie now would have been good, but in the few years that he had disappeared, I just don't understand. I still to this day do not understand the Ibrahimovic leaving. I was very surprised, because I thought, what was the point of him staying at United with that knee injury? Because he even said he didn't want any wages until he could get back on the pitch.
Yeah.
What was the point? Well, why did we keep him then? Why did we let him do all that? I don't get it.
It's a bit of an uncertain one, really. And what is uncertain as well is how well people think United are going to do this season, because the lack of transfer movement has kind of overshrouded the squad that they've already got. It's still a very talented squad, as you mentioned. Finished second in the Premier League last season. Did well in the FA Cup, getting to the final. What is the expectation then for United this season? Is it to compete for the title once more, or is it just top four finish?
I just have this feeling it could be another season where we play for cups and not for the league. Whether or not that's a good thing, I'm not sure, because I think our aim at least should be second again. Because if Man City play really well again, no one's going to touch them, and I've sensed that could be the case, as much as I hate to say it, but I think second is a must. It's a definite aim, because if we can do that from last season, then we should do it this season. Liverpool are definitely going to be top three. I don't know where they're going to be, but they're going to be top three. And United, in my eyes, need to start winning the games that matter, because last season we drew a lot. The season before we had a lot of draws against the small teams. But the one thing people got to remember is, Mourinho's good at beating the rivals. It just doesn't always happen against the small teams, though. We beat Man City we were crap.
2-0 down in that game.
And it should have been more. I thought we were going to lose the title to them in that day. But something happened. It was the Mourinho magic, the old Mourinho magic.
Paul Pogba showed up.
Paul Pogba showed up, but Mourinho magic was there. You can't tell me Pogba just turned up. Mourinho would have said something at half time. He might have said to Pogba, "What are you doing at United? This is the game where you should be controlling the midfield and doing your bit and getting the freedom." And he changed. Everything changed in that second half. So I'm not sure. I think United, if we win the league, that'll be amazing. But I'll be very surprised if we win it. Second, it's got to be, and then there's the trophies. Champions League, I could see that being another one that could be just as disastrous, but we'll see. But as you just said as well, we've got the players. We shouldn't have any excuses. I'm sick of United fans saying we need more players. We've got the players. They're just not doing it.
I arguably think, because of the way that Liverpool have improved, how City have managed to keep hold of really their core players, and the unknown factors of Arsenal and Chelsea, I think United could potentially finish outside the top four. I still think the expectation is top four, but I think there's a real danger that if Jose Mourinho turns against the squad really quickly, then I think they could slip out the top four completely and finish in just in the top six or something like that.
Hopefully you're wrong.
Hopefully you'll be hoping that I'm wrong, but we should have to wait and see. That's all we got for time for this preview of Manchester United's 2018-2019 Premier League season. How well do you think United can do this season? Can they win the league, or are they going to struggle to finish inside the top four? Let us know in the comment section below this video. Don't forget to like it, subscribe for more Let's Talk Sport content, and see you all very soon.